And here is the Writer's Almanac for Wednesday. It's the 19th of August, 2020. It was on this date, 1829, the French painter and physicist Louis Daguerre presented his photographic process to the French Academy of Sciences. The first actual photograph had been made a couple of years earlier by Joseph Nicephore Niepce, but the quality wasn't very good. The plate had to be exposed for 8 hours to capture an image. And Daguerre found a better way. He found that if he coated a copper plate with silver iodide, exposed it to light for 20 to 30 minutes, fumed it with mercury vapor, fixed it with a salt solution, he could get a permanent image. He called it a daguerreotype, of course, after himself. Many early photographers died from mercury poisoning using this method, but it was the method that was used. People lined up to have their portraits taken, though they knew you had to sit in blazing sunlight for up to half an hour, trying not to blink, your head clamped in place to keep it still, which is why they had such grim facial expressions. But it was a marvelous, mystifying, even scarifying thing at the time to look at an image of your actual self. It's the birthday of the man who brought about Star Trek, Gene Roddenberry, born El Paso, 1921. Worked as a writer and producer at NBC when he got an idea for a new series about space exploration in 1964. He described it as a wagon train to the stars. The pilot of Star Trek aired on September 8th, 1966. It only went for 3 seasons. Ratings were never that great, but it was a huge success in syndication, and it kicked off a major science fiction franchise. Star Trek, the first sci-fi series to depict a generally peaceful future. It's the birthday of Frank McCourt, born Brooklyn, 1930, oldest of 7 children, Irish immigrant couple, who moved back to Ireland, to Limerick, when McCourt was 4 years old. His childhood marked by poverty and the deaths of half of his siblings and his father's alcoholism. Came back to America when he was 19, became a high school English teacher in New York City. Wanted to write a memoir for years, but he was too angry and bitter about it. And finally, listening to his young granddaughter playing, he realized he had to write it from the viewpoint of his child self, and that became his book, Angela's Ashes. It's the birthday of Orville Wright of the Wright brothers, born Dayton, Ohio, 1871. Wilbur was the meticulous one, and Orville was younger and the more adventurous one. Here's a poem for today by Robert Browning entitled Now. Out of your whole life give but a moment, all of your life that has gone before, all to come after it. So you ignore, so you make perfect the present, condense in a rapture of rage for perfection's endowment, thought and feeling and soul and sense, merged in a moment which gives me at last you around me for once, you beneath me, above me, me sure that despite of time, future, time past, this tick of our lifetime's one moment, you love me. How long such suspension may linger. Ah, sweet, the moment eternal, just that and no more, when ecstasy's utmost we clutch at the core, while cheeks burn, arms open, eyes shut, and lips meet. Robert Browning's poem, Now. That's the Writer's Almanac, funded by donations from listeners like you, now available on PRX for distribution by your local radio station. Be well, do good work, and keep in touch.